And now it is my distinct pleasure to introduce Q Major. I'm going to read Q Major's bio real quick, pardon me. Bring out the phone here. Talking about the phones there. Quincy Wilson, also known by his stage name Q Major, he, him, his pronouns, is a Bahamian-American performing artist and poet from the Treasure Coast area. He is one of the top slam poets in the city, Beautiful. Q Major uses his voice to advocate for change. Major gives the listener a look into his world and speaks about his unique experience as a young, black, queer, Caribbean-American man. Major finds art to be the best way of expressing ineffable emotions, especially when conversation fails. In addition, he is also an event planner and marketer in the Central Florida area. His events are geared toward creating platforms for artists to showcase their talents and grow within their artistic identities. Quincy is also the creative arts organizer with Peer Support Space, a peer-led, non-clinical mental health nonprofit located in the Central Florida area. Quincy believes art is the best way for us to connect and better understand each other. Sometimes, Quincy says, all your life needs is a little artistic flair to make it better. My pleasure to present Q Major.
Hi.
Hey.
I guess X marks the spot.
Yes,
So
that's it.
I'm gonna stand here. Who said that? I don't know. Hey.
We love you.
I love you too.
We do.
But yeah. So I'm just gonna get started. I see many souls, old souls, new souls, damn souls. I see many souls. You see, my master was a wicked one, always manipulating those lost souls into selling their old soul, even had a key to the devil's door. I seen many souls, old souls, new souls. You know the funniest thing is my master's great-great-grandfather was a pastor and he was a hoodoo master. I contain the secrets to the dark arts, that black magic voodoo, that New Orleans hoodoo. I see many souls, and my leather is getting quite old. That is a persona to the old leather suitcase, and I wrote that when I was 16 years old. That's very old. Now I want to share some new stuff with you guys. And it's not memorized, so I'm gonna do it like first. But it's very new, and it's just where I'm at right now, and we're gonna dive into some other stuff as we go. So this one is Dear Love. Dear Love, the next time I find you, I promise I'll hold on to you. Through all the shit I won't let go, cause I know how hard love is to find. The next time I find you, every punch you throw I'll show love. I'll be compassionate. I'll embrace your faults because everyone has them. I'll bless your ears with my words. I'll embrace you with my touch. I'll share my body with you because only love can experience me. I know you're out there waiting. Just as I await you, I'm in no rush to meet someone that's not you. And even if I've already met you and I let you go, even if you come knocking and I ignore the door, that doesn't mean that no one's home. Just give me some time because I've been bruised by you before. Be patient with me. I don't always say what I want clearly, but I'm learning to say it. Embrace me with your being. Hold me, because some days after the world has had its way with me, I can't stand. Some days I'll sleep in. Let me, because I rarely get to enjoy rest. Speak to me softly. Even when you are frustrated with me, I'm used to people being loud with me. Show me kindness in every way you can. Encourage me to further explore my passions. Listen to my art. Embrace the creativity that lives within me. Listen to my ideas, even when they make no sense. Hear them, for the best ideas come from minds that wander. Please understand that I am a being of light, and if you love me the way I need and want to be loved, I will give to you myself. I will love you the way that you need and want to be loved. Just show me how so that I may understand your love the next time I find you. I can't wait to see the world with you. Hand in hand, I can't wait to love with you. But until then, I will continue to grow the love that I have for myself so that when we meet, I'll have more than enough for the both of us. And that's dear love. Now this next one, I wrote it a few years ago, but I just started revising it because I wanted to kind of have this conversation with myself, like my past self when I was experiencing this trauma. I wrote it, and to like where I am now. And as a poet, like if you're a poet in the building, you know, no poem is truly ever done. You're always like revising and editing and just constantly going back, and you're like, oh, I'm changing this, because as you change, your poems change. So this is a trauma piece. I just want to say that first and foremost, that it is a trauma piece. And yes, this poem is for the voiceless. I see you, I hear you. You are not alone. This poem is for me. Hashtag me too. A letter to the man who assaulted me. First and foremost, I want you to know that you didn't break me, and you can't dim nor steal my light. I will never be your victim. My light shines brighter than ever. I am and will always be a strong and powerful survivor. To the man who assaulted me, your scent is now an aroma engraved in my brain. I will never forget the way you smelt, so clean but filthy. From the bottom of my heart, I hope you learn to love yourself so that when a man rejects you, it won't matter. You allowed self-hate to fuel your actions, needs overpowered what's right. You forced yourself on me. Saw nothing wrong with what you did to me, like I'm not human. I brushed my teeth and gargled with mouthwash to forget, or my hair different, so when I looked in the mirror, I didn't see him. So I didn't see the person you took advantage of. So I didn't see myself. Unpleasant remarks echoed in my mind for a while. How do you find love when it entitles being intimate and you jump every time someone touches you? How do you tell your lover this? I had to learn how to be embraced again. Just because I didn't scream no doesn't mean I didn't say no. I expressed this interest to you verbally and non-verbally. Our bodies have ways of speaking for us. Mine cried as you claimed, as it became the land you claimed as your own, rubbed hands on me as if it was yours. My body screamed to be released, but I gave in. Because if you give in, it isn't assault, right? Because if you give in, it was your choice, right? So I let go, went to a place in my head where I could be safe, because this wasn't me. This wasn't my body being violated. My family needs me. I didn't want to die. Their love washed over me. I have to make it back home to them. I wouldn't be another news story. 18-year-old boy found raped and murdered, just like a pot full of burnt rice is better than an empty one. An assaulted son is better than a dead one. Quincy, you'll be all right. Just make it through. And I promise you'll be all right. I cried to myself internally. Told myself whatever I needed to hear to make it through that moment. I'm sorry to those I love who I couldn't confide in. I just didn't know where to start. There's no easy way to tell someone that you were raped when you can barely tell yourself. When the word quakes within you, body shakes, vomit, you begin to taste, you become disgusted with yourself. So you shower and shower and shower and shower, but no matter how much soap you use or what brand you use, you don't feel clean. How do you wash away dirt that is your trauma? And to those who say boys can't get raped, like that number isn't 81,000 in the US, as if being a man is supposed to protect you, as if only men who like men are raped, as if straight men aren't assaulted too, as if masculinity or your sexual orientation are supposed to protect you. To those who say boys can't get raped, as if your genitalia is supposed to protect you, I say, me too.
Come on.
Man talks to society. As a man thinks, then so is he. So if we do not fulfill our purpose or so-called reason for being, we are simply nothing. You've broken down when the rain pours from you and not the sky on the days when keeping your head up tears you down, when the lectures you give yourself fail, underappreciated, overwhelmed, overused, you find yourself mentally worn. Where is your solace? When you cease to function properly, you are simply replaced. Beyonce said you are replaceable. In fact, she had another you in a minute, and everybody been doing the same since then. Discarding men like tools when no longer useful. We become objects, tools of procreation, good nuts, and romantic vacations. As a man thinks, then so is he. As a man thinks, then so is he. As a man thinks, then so is he. But you see, the problem with that is, how are we really thinking when all you do is program us to be whatever it is that you need? When a man bends to your will, whether that be a religion, a job, a lover, what is a man? What is a man? I ask. I ask because I don't know. I ask because, as I've said, all men are programmed, created for whatever purpose you decide. What is a man in your society? What is a man? What is a man if he cannot be human? QBM. A letter to queer colored boys. Queer black boy, you ain't supposed to exist. Ain't supposed to love. Ain't supposed to love another man. Ain't supposed to live. Ain't supposed to breathe. Ain't even supposed to be possible. You go against the very nature of black man. They tell you queer black man ain't a thing. Ain't real. You ain't real. As if every queer black boy don't experience at least one hate crime in their life, as if F-U-C-K be the only F word and your vocabulary like faggot don't roll off your tongue too. Like it ain't derogatory. Like nigga ain't the only hate word you adopted. Queer black boy, you ain't supposed to exist. And yet they praise RuPaul's Drag Race. Love Lil Nas X and Frank Ocean, God knows he had tornadoes messing up y'all rooms. Quotes James Baldwin even made a movie of his If Belay Street Could Talk, you ain't supposed to exist. Only loved if you dress up in makeup and high heels. Only loved if you make them laugh. Only loved when you're their clown. Cause queer black men don't exist unless we're clowns, right? Unless we're entertaining, right? Unless you don't see us as men, right? We not prideful, at least not supposed to be. Not black and proud, not queer and proud, not man and proud. Cause we ain't supposed to exist. Cause we ain't supposed to be black, queer, and man. Dear queer black men from No. Dear queer black boys from and inspired by all queer black men. You can be fierce and powerful. Dress up in high heels and makeup if that's your flavor. You may love whomever you choose. You can kiss whomever you choose. You can be the very best fathers, protectors, innovators, entrepreneurs, CEOs. You can be the very best. You be black, you be queer, you be mad, you be proud. Queer black men ain't supposed to exist. But we set the world on fire. Have electric tones that dance words like little ballerina ants creating sparks. We be shocking people with our being just like fireflies lighting up the night sky. Queer black boys ain't supposed to exist because we aren't masculine or masculine enough, as if we didn't craft the definition of masculine, as if we are not masculinity at its finest, as if queer black boys ain't supposed to exist. But here we are, turning into queer black men. Here I am, living, breathing, existing, and if I might say so unapologetically, and I'll sign this one, QBM. This next one is I always kind of like question doing it, but I feel like it's important to advocate, to use your voice to advocate and like speak about your experience, because you can bring people into your world. You know, like people, you can't understand my experience if you've never lived it, and you can't because it's my personal experience. Just like yours, you know, your experience is yours, and I can't understand unless you were to try and explain it to me. But I saw this video on Facebook, like around the 4th of July, and I'm always writing, I'm always getting inspired, but this is also another one that I feel like I should probably like, I don't know if I should do a warning for it, but either way, ready or not, here it is. Attention, attention. You are about to enter the world of Q Major. It all started when I was scrolling on my phone, you know, on Facebook. Video, I see blacks. I see 4th of July, barbecue. I see blacks burning alive on the 4th of July. You see, we used to be the original barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't no slave. Bible never said keep us blacks as slaves. Bible never said rape us. Bible never said kill us. I ain't no slave. However, I know the tongue they use, nigger tongue trickles down family trees. We got our own dialect, so don't tell me ain't a word or finna. Don't mean that I'm not about to do something or that butter ain't butter. And a big F you to everybody that tries to rob us of our ebonics like it ain't a nigga. Making the best out of a damn situation we ain't choose. I ain't no slave. However that ish be in my roots. Didn't choose it, but some choices are made for us. Crack goes the whip when whip meets skin. Our skin cracks as the whip hits and splits in open R. Because my black ancestors are me. I hear the pain, feel the blood on every street corner. We've been fighting for our freedom forever. Like the Emancipation Proclamation was good, but it wasn't enough. The right to vote, civil rights, other rights for us still ain't enough because we still dying. Like we don't matter. Get ridiculed when we talk about it. I ain't no slave. I ain't no slave. I'm the descendant of survivors. People who fought and made it through an unspoken war, the struggle of the Negro, and no, I will not be silent. My voice will be heard for every slave, I mean warrior, that lost their life so that I could be here today, so that I could live, so that I could learn, so that I could read, so that I could write, so that I could live in a world that says being black is demonic, so I could live in this rich chocolate skin I'm in, and wear my nappy, kinky, curly black hair the way I see fit, so I could scream at the top of my lungs when stuff still ain't right. They always saying blacks be too loud, blacks be too ghetto, blacks be ignorant, blacks be a fool. I ain't no slave. I'm the descendant of survivors, people who fought and made it through an unspoken war, the struggle of the Negro, and my voice will be heard for every slave, I mean warrior, that lost their life so that I could live. I want you to hear me when I say that I am a warrior. And the only way to go forward is for change to happen. We must realize that the war, it isn't over yet. And being who I am, if you know me, like personally, I see some friends in here. I'm super big lover, like super big lover. So, you know, when I get my heart break, I just recently started writing music, things like that. But when I get my heart break, I write about it, right? Who doesn't write about it? You guys write about it, right? You guys write about love. Everybody writes about love. Anyway, this is not about love, but it's about like, it's about just taking that like time to just reflect and like be yourself and just, you know, just live. It's a song, but it's also a poem. So yeah. Let's actually can you guys help me out with something? Yeah. Can you guys do like a snap? Can you like snap? Like just like give me like a beat, like a I like that. And I promise you don't have to snap the whole time. It's just an energy thing. Okay. Take the time to reflect. Life is good, but don't forget that with the ups, there'll be the downs. So when they come, just keep your head up high. In a little time, everything will go by. I can see who was in band and who wasn't. Anyway, I loved you and you hurt me. Yeah, you really betrayed me. Yeah, you played me. You made me think that you really loved me, but at the end of the day, you were only pretending. So I hope you choke on all the fallacies. I hope you reminisce, and I hope that you pray on every single lie you told me. I pray for you. I pray for your peace, and I pray for mine too. But during this time, I must take the time to reflect. Life is good, but don't forget that with the ups, there'll be the downs. So when they come, just keep your head up high. In a little time, everything will go by. You just gotta take the time to reflect. Life is good, but don't forget that when the ups, there'll be the downs. So when they come, just keep your head up high. In a little time, everything will go by. When I die, I pray I see my grandmother one more time, cause I really miss her. I be hurting deep inside, trying not to cry. Every day is a struggle, so I lift my head up and pray. I pray for you and your peace. I just take the time I need, take the time to reflect. They always say when things get rough, take the time to reflect so that you can build up. Just take the time to reflect. Life is good, but don't forget that when there's ups, there'll be the downs. So when they come, just keep your head held high. In a little time, everything will go by. In life, you must always remember that no matter how good it gets, there will always be the downs. But that's okay. Just gotta keep staring, and you'll be fine. Thank you so much.
Early on in my life, I thought I would have a career in the theater. I actually got an MFA in theater. But I went into poetry because I was looking for something that paid me less than theater. But I had already planned to do a theater-themed set because some of my poems have to do with theater. And this first one is called Summer Stock. And if you know what summer stock is, I actually did it. Every 7 days, we memorized a new musical. 1 week, performed Grease each night, rehearsed Yentl daytime, with volunteers from local churches of Christ filling our chorus of Russian shtetl Jews. West Branch of the Susquehanna River curved around our theater parking lot toward downtown Lock Haven, old mill town surrounded by Amish farms. After 10 hours, inhabiting souls of singing greasers and Talmud scholars, under a hot tin roof, no air conditioning, we'd rent rubber rafts and inner tubes from Ted's on Riverwalk, float towards Jersey Shore, small town a mile downriver. Drifting through old growth forest, watching wisps of clouds cling to rocky hilltops, restored us so we could go back to Block the way he makes me feel. During our last week, I played Curly in Oklahoma. Dreamed of 19th century America, navigating river highways, current carrying me to Harrisburg, where Susquehanna's west and north branches converge to create an estuary 1 mile wide through southeast Pennsylvania, joining Chesapeake Bay at Havre de Grace. Oh, to float away from that physical grind of performance, wearing as milling grain once was in those stone ruined buildings beside the river. We're all adrift on life's currents, searching for a safe harbor, harmony to hit, right line to say, and a follow spot that catches us down center so we can shine. Yes, I did summer stock in Lock Haven, Pennsylvania, and yes, Yentl was one of the shows. So the great thing about theater, if you've done theater or even been around it for a minute or two, are the people. Nothing like being with a bunch of actors and theater people. And in the 80s, when I was working in the theater in New York and various other places, it was just a wonderful thing. And I wrote this poem. It's called 80s Weekends. We'd stay up all night, smoking Marlboros, drinking Jack Daniels on stage after the play, sprawled on prop sofas, ghost lights casting ghastly shadows on stained cinder block walls. By 4 a.m., we'd planned in detail to transform American theater. Nicotine kept synapses firing while planting seeds of tumors that killed Jim, Carrie, Eddie. Lung cancer. Too young. I don't smoke anymore. Made peace with small triumphs. Ambition, a faded photo on the wall. Tonight, I woke at 4 a.m., tiptoed through sleeping house, down to family room. Sure, I'd see our old crowd sprawled across furniture and floor, hair dark, faces unlined, exhaling blue smoke streams. But all I find is a tired pack of Marlboros stashed in a desk drawer. Is it Eddie or a mirage that floats over to light me up? I take a deep inhale. Smoke tastes sour. Why didn't I remember? So many times I plan to change the world through theater. And also, really thrilled that you mentioned 100,000 Poets for Change. It's just a great organization and a great event. And Aaron, and you probably don't know this, but I am the president of the Orlando Area Poets, a chapter of the Florida State Poets Association. So you can tell me what's going on next weekend. I will be happy to publicize it to my group. This is the last one. It's called Born in a Trunk. Those of you who may have heard of this phrase. Basically means people who grew up in theater. Back when all the big theater people toured in vaudeville, they would have children on the road with them. If you ever saw the movie Yankee Doodle Dandy, you see that James M. Cohan was born while his dad was performing. So born in a trunk means you were born on stage or close to stage. And this is called Born in a Trunk. Dad loved to tell tales to nurses' aides about his career in vaudeville. How he traveled by train from town to town, tap dancing and singing patriotic songs. Young nurses couldn't know vaudeville died before Dad grew out of short pants. He spun his yarns well. Hearing them made me smell the grease paint in dusty, creaky theaters as he danced from Kalamazoo to Kankakee. I thought about telling his adoring fans the truth, but who was I to force him to live in this world? I, too, would rather be born in a trunk than Brooklyn Jewish Hospital. So every day, until he sank into a coma, Dad and I harmonized on old songs, swapped classic routines like Slowly I Turn, to delight folks in the common room. For our finale, I danced a soft shoe while he heckled me from his wheelchair. The day Dad died, I held his hand, gave our curtain speech. Ladies and gentlemen, my sister thanks you. My mother thanks you. My father thanks you. And I thank you. And thank you for listening.
Peter, you inspired me. So this is going to be a set that's themed as well. We are surrounded by birds, great egrets, sandhill cranes, tricolored herons. Those aren't birds, but those are porkfish and roseate spoonbills. So I'm going to do a bird set. In 1982, Great Britain declared war to reclaim ownership of the Falklands. some 200 islands totaling the size of Connecticut off the coast of Argentina. Though efforts proved successful in fending off insurgents from the mainland, British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher was criticized for sending so many of her troops to death to protect what was ultimately an outpost for fishermen. Tucked away at the bottom of the southern hemisphere, a stone's throw from the angry winds of Antarctica, the Falklands aren't exactly your ideal vacation. They became less so with the addition of 20,000 landmines still live and active to this day. Thatcher's decision to invade would haunt the rest of her career. A real estate feud, penned with the blood of soldiers, turned buyer's remorse over land no one wanted or cared for. Except the Falklands are home to one of the largest penguin colonies on Earth. When I read the headline, how an island full of landmines led to a thriving penguin population, my first thought was of black and white Muppets flying through the air amidst quacks and cartoonish explosions. But no, the article says these penguins stay alive because birds have hollow bones. They don't weigh enough to set off the explosions. Ugh. 5 different set off, pardon me. But no, the article says these penguins stay alive because birds have hollow bones. They don't weigh enough to set off the bombs. Scientists estimate flocks number in the millions. A haven for 5 separate species, generation after generation, tracing lineage back to before the war. I say estimate because research comes from drones and overhead aircraft. It's too dangerous for humans to set foot on the soil, but these penguins, they just keep on penguining about their lives, laying eggs, hatching and feeding their young, minding their own business, oblivious to the war zones beneath, not surviving, but thriving in a freak environment too harsh for outsiders, while meadows of carnage await blossoms from the sand. And I think depression is like that. It's not about navigating emotional minefields so much as building your nest on top, striking balance, calling it home. No use worrying about triggers. Without your baggage, you'd be too light to set them off. We've all been heavy, anxious for the ground to swallow us whole. I want to be like those penguins. Bodies empty as beach balls, buoyant, balanced, floating, clouds under their feet, unable to fly, yet content with all they have while the rest of the world falls apart. You can't fix every problem. It's impossible to dig up every hazard. Cast aside the burden you don't need so that you may walk across thin ice. You cannot have fear and indifference at the same time. Teach me the Tao of penguins. They who prove ignorance is bliss. They who build home and sprawling kingdom atop miles of others' bullshit. Give me harmony inside the natural order where nesting grounds flourish from the ash of no man's land. Peace is where your soul weighs less than everyone else's war. After the poem, Ava Gardner reincarnated as a magnolia by Margaret Atwood. Sacagawea reincarnated as Clark's Nutcracker. In my past as Shoshone, my name meant bird woman, and so I am rebuilt of feathers. Even as I share the white man's title, one half of that pair I trod with through what is now North Dakota, all the way to coastal tide pools of the Pacific at the mouth of the Columbia. I understand if you overlooked me as I am now, you humans always lust for a brighter palette. I am black, white, gray, stone-colored plumage. I am not hummingbirds, nor dynamic reds of cardinals, tanagers, and grosbeaks. I am statues and static, far less than dwarfing wingspan of eagles, a lone river rock skipping its ripples across the upside-down lake of the sky. No one would dare call me majestic, but I'm important. Your scientists recognize me as gifted, the best memory of all birds. I bury catches in the soil for winter, my own private food stock, thousands upon thousands of seeds and pine cones. I can recount for you location of every one. Those abandoned sprout into skyscrapers of endless height. From treasure chest hidden beneath snow, I resurrect towers of forest, architect of the conifer maze. My contribution gives refuge to squirrels and other birds, neighbors in which to nurse and raise their young. Elk and bison shelter themselves between alleyways of my cities, protection from the hungry packs of wolves. Wolverines and mountain lions mark their territory. Insects and grubs occupy bark like apartment tenants. A buffet for woodpeckers, beavered salvage logs lost to the river, sculpt them into nests and dams. I am what is known as a keystone species, the ecological linchpin. If I were to go extinct, I take everyone and everything with me. My absence burns the wilderness, the missing nail that collapses houses' foundation, pinhole that fills the belly, sinks the ship. I am spot the axe must strike to bring down totem poles. It has always been my nature to remain unassuming, to work under other shadows and reputation. In another life, I joined expedition as interpreter, the wife of a fur trapper, the one called Clark nicknamed me Janie. Now I fly above streams of salmon. What good are maps to one who looks down on landscape? What's a pathfinder to she who crafts continent? A farmer holding her place as peer, shoulder to shoulder with the moon. I have seen fire and the plow. I have known blizzards and springs thaw, melting glaciers, chainsaws in progress, punching through the dirt and deserted piles of pine needles. The spirit world once again robs me of credit and celebrity as fair price for being indispensable. Once again, I am forgettable at best and ever necessary. I know where my gold is buried. All of it. And I will never tell you. The map exists in my mind. You want to find America? You'll have to start digging it up yourselves. You want the ocean, grow your own wings to glide on and ensnare the breeze. This bird woman has but one complaint. After all her time spent facing down clouds of foreboding millennia, booming thunder on the horizon, it's the memory. I can't forget the echoes of past lifetimes, the land they stole, the voices slaughtered, cries of the butchered herds. This is my reward, my penance for helping show them the way, the freedom of never having to touch the ground again. The trails I hiked, the rocks we once climbed, I would have killed them if I had known what would happen. I can only watch the land disappear, the trees regrow over centuries. I would have fed their bodies to salt water if I knew what this country would become. I would have left them behind in the mountains, left them to fend for themselves. I would have slit their throats inside their tents while they sleep if I knew what the decades would do to us. My people, this is my curse. I can only remember. All I can remember is everything.
I'm not saying you're racist. That would be silly. You're not a whites only sign, drippy lead paint on knotted wood perched above a restaurant door like a scarecrow for civil rights. No, I'm saying you enjoy the house special. Your waitress has already memorized your order. The owner reserves your seat weekly, greets you with a camera shutter wink and a Cheshire smile. Your initials are hand carved into the wood of your favorite booths. Memories are box stepping down the aisle, standing room only so you can't see all the space you're not willing to make for others. I'm not saying you're a bigot. Of course not. You're not a Dodge Challenger with bifurcated bumper, plowing protesters in Charlottesville, exhaust fume breath and two-stroke fury, snarling and skidding at the slightest provocation, unyielding as the Confederate statue you refuse to see torn down. No, I'm saying you enjoy the ride. The gas pedal feels plush against your heavy foot. The engine whispers like a banshee, but makes whispers of shrieking bystanders that you long to own one, but at a reasonable price. 40% off sticker or a 3/5 compromise. A fuel-injected rush of power, turning radius of a gunshot. Everything reduced to speed bumps and green lights. And who needs speed bumps in their lives? Wrecking your suspension of disbelief. I'm not saying you're a Nazi, like you're some kind of concentration camp, a garbage pit of misery and lost dreams, the stench of death tinged with bitter almonds and despair, walls of razor wire like bared teeth. The emaciated and forgotten, slipping into the oblivion of your mouth. No, I'm saying you live upwind in a subdivision so you don't have to smell the bodies. Your house is well insulated against the sounds of family trees snapping and children begging to be held, but you keep the police on speed dial in case you spot someone Anne Franken next door. That some places are built for throwing lives away, and you don't look for them, but you vote for them, so you never have to think about or concentrate on them again. I'm not saying you're the Klansman or Proud Boy marching down the street as a specter for white retribution. I'm saying you're the police escort. You're not a Molotov cocktail thrown into a mosque, you're the Starbucks that replaces it. You're not a shooter in a black church, you're a buy one box of bullets and get a Happy Meal sale. I'm not saying you're racist. I'm saying evil only triumphs when good people do nothing, and you're the nothing. What King would refer to as a stumbling block of history. And if you gather up enough stumbling blocks, you can make a wall. You can make a school that can't teach about slavery. You can make a prison system. You can make a police force that's never held accountable. You can make a nation. A towering mess of things unwilling to look itself in the mirror for fear of imploding. I'm not saying you're evil. I'm saying in the grand equation of life, you're just a benign remainder in someone else's final solution. Thank you.
I'm going to talk about some socially conscious things, not necessarily all political necessarily. It might touch on that a little bit, but this first one's going to be really about my own personal interaction with a person that changed my life. This poem is about a friend of mine who passed away a few years ago, and it was a tough loss. I really can't call him a friend, he was more of a brother. But he was one of those guys that would sit out there, we would sit out in front of his house and we would just talk and just kind of like philosophize about life. And I think that one of the things with poetry is that people don't really understand that the experience that's needed in order for poetry to be produced. So I'm gonna read this poem in homage to him for giving me those experiences. The poem is called Black and Mild. In a dark and mild winter, I sit in the yard silently exhaling frigid air like a black and mild haze. It rises to a starry place I call a memory. Outside of Europe we didn't ride in, leaned against the gazing, shadows and street lights while talking like griots, cracking jokes at night as night dawned ideas. Black and mild till we both yawn too much. Now I sit silent. Lawn chair is the Buick I lean on, avoiding yawns, dimming street lights. While I sit pretending the nights black and mild are still real, and you gone isn't. All right, this is that one. Now this next piece, as many of you already know, there's a war in Ukraine, but there's also many other wars that are going on all over the world that nobody talks about. And unfortunately, we as a nation, and other nations as well, have become very comfortable with using war as a solution. And it results in a lot of loss of life, a lot of grief, a lot of displacement, a lot of famine, so many things that we really don't think about. And one of the wars that we see every day too is in, like from my experience, in just regular everyday life, gun violence. So I won't hit on anything specific, but this poem is just hoping for something different. So, the poem is called Ifs and Maybes. I hear souls like lullabies leave melodies after bodies decay and depart. If so, maybe one day worlds of this world will be humane to other worlds for humanity's sake, and maybe wine poured in glasses will replace blood spilled from carcasses as medium for winning wars. Then maybe daisies will spring, blossoms that never fall, wilted in winter nor burn in summer, and maybe, just maybe, the lullaby souls leave will harmonize hope in the hopeless, like lyrics and musical notes, if we hear their piece. Maybe. That's just maybe. And this last piece is actually about a real life experience. So I actually have a family member here where he had a birthday party, I think for his brother. He's a cousin of mine, for his brother. And as we were going into the building, it was downtown Orlando. Sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit, but anyway. It was in downtown Orlando. We were going to the building in order to celebrate this party. And it was this homeless man sitting outside. And you know, he was just kind of like sitting off and like off. Like he just almost really didn't exist. And he just started talking to me. And it seemed like I was the only one that actually listened to him, and I don't know how long. And so this is just really kind of capturing that moment and just conveying that night. It was very, as you'll see, it's very prosaic, so you'll see like the story as it comes out, but it was very impactful for me. And again, this is one of those experiences that really drives poetry. So, this was called Bang Bang at Lake Yola. I parallel parked beside a meter flashing free on the way to a party, family and me. In plain sight, he's where light doesn't reach, beside bricks, sun bleach. He leans against the wall outside a bar he isn't allowed in, a fixture and banished by Lake Yola urbanites wearing skinny jeans tucked into Balenciaga boots on electric scooters for rent. He speaks nonsense to deaf ears and reality to the keen listener. Shoot 'em up. Bang, bang, he says. Shoot 'em up, he says. They cage me, free me to prison. I sleep on pavement, I've barely eaten since. I nod to nonsense, to his memoir. A woman 6 inches taller than 6 feet, Fashion Week walks past. She fires a glance like a firearm. He winces. Shoot 'em up. Bang, bang, he says. Gorgeous family. Shoot 'em up. Take it easy. A man wearing glasses fires again. Bang, bang, he says, relenting his forehead. Moments are moments, but I saw a person die 2 of umpteen times he'll die today. It burns, hot gun barrel pressed firm. In the elevator, a woman swipes her key card, asks if we are new residents. Visiting, I grimace. At the party, I sip a drink, eat sushi and salmon, laughing, but keep seeing the same man walking the same dog in the hall adjacent to the recreation hall we celebrated 7 to 8 times in 30 minutes. He fires each time. Bang, bang, I absorb them. The party ends. The exit is less eventful than entrance. We get to the car, now he's lying on pavement, shivering and mumbling. We leave him our beach blanket for the freeze, shields for stairs even colder, sandwich to eat, and M&Ms to show him life can still be sweet. All right. So.
It's called Love's Demands, and it goes like this. Love is many things, but it is not reality. It's the state of mind that drives the machinery, the mechanics of dreams forward. Both a curse and a blessing, love wields its awesome power, equally transcending all time and a vengeance, second to none. It is the greatest fear in the cosmos, for it cannot be controlled. So insidious its nature can and has subdued the mightiest of all. Innately born, it can't be barred by knowledge or in ignorance. Even hate can be subdued by love. As fleeting as it seems to be, it appears with no apparent cause and conquers unequivocally. It can't be taught like hate, to lie and hide in terms of fate. In all its forms it has no shape and no dimension of existence to make its presence known. Evoking passion with impunity, consequences be damned, as ecstasy is crowned omnipotent. Existentially existing betwixt desire and intellect, it osculates our senses to spawn compelling action from our dormancy, giving rise of thoughts of consternation now, to ratify to your past belief that your nature was content to be in peace. But as the exhilaration of its power compromises your integrity, adrenalized your mortal casts off its shackles joyously from being trapped within its own mortality, to rise above itself and claim the prize of satisfaction, to only linger momentarily, basking in the deceitful afterglow that you have prevailed in boasting to yourself, to have entrapped the elusive love alive. But as the folly of your existence makes you shudder deep inside, for kindness is not a quality of love, neither is endurance, evading definition, while hope, the scourge of man, prods on, the duplicity of which inevitably reveals its merciless ways, denying everlasting rapture in cloaked Amaranthine deception. Duplicity, thy name is mine, love contumaciously propounds to all who seek a taste come by, to may or may not be recognized, to risk your sacred soul, surrendering your cognitive control unto the soul of all who came before and all who be thereafter, as I, the love of God, the greatest gift of man, command you, give unto me assistance, for I alone cannot conceive mortality. I have another one here that this is a Halloween one, and I'm a novelist. I have some novels, and people will ask you all the time. They'll say, "Well, you're like this character, you're that character," and so on and so forth. And in reality, you're every character in the book. And it's the old Stanislavski method. You have to be the character, otherwise you can't transform yourself to what the person actually says. So you have to be very empathetic in this sort of thing. And this is from the point of a woman, not from a point of a man. And this is a Halloween one. It's a Gothic one, and it's called Trick or Treat. Let me see if I got this right. He was a treat, I have to say. Deliciously he came my way. Oblivious I was before, but now I thought I would explore his obvious intentions, which I could not ignore, and I was oh so bored. He wanted to consume me, to wound me and entomb me, to whisk away my defense and subdue my effervescence. His boldness had no pretense, which fed his very offense, for he was quite intense. I was at home, not all alone, entering my twilight zone, my stranger still in tow with his intentions all aglow. He petulantly crowed of what he could bestow, as if I didn't know. A little wine, a little time for inhibitions to subside. It was a credit to his kind, a beast of burden so inclined to do the task he was assigned, surrendering his mind, or the victim of his crime. Alas, he had grown old to me, no more curiosity, his function terminated for which he was created, his essence subjugated, and his future now was slated as only death awaited. You see, he had to pay, and bade me not delay. Forgive me, he had pled when chained upon my bed, for I'd rather now be dead than be inside your head. A cruel trick, he said.
As she lays in my bed and watches Netflix, I chill. I look at her still resting body as she watches Grey's Anatomy. I'm gray when she's not with me. Or should I say I'm blue? Enjoying even the subtle movements under the covers just to be in close proximity of you. The game is on. My teams are playing, but my dreams of staying close to you far outweighing the importance of any sport or any final score on any court. I just watch you laying there. I'm praying that you staying there will give you peace, will give you comfort, help you recuperate. All plans have been changed of what I was going to do today. Instead, I just watch you, which leaves me more engaged than any interview. I guess I'm so engaged because I'm into you, wishing we were engaged. I'm the elephant in the room, holding on to a moment, to a window in time. Is it just too soon to leave this wound uncovered? But what I finally discovered is this relationship is dead, and I was just viewing the body.
Crazy.
The perfect poet is an anchor, a compass, a sail to a boat. They may have words to keep things light or a message on a serious note. The perfect poet is a vibration, a glimmer in a dark cave, a sandy road that has finally been paved, emancipation for a slave. The perfect poet is a slap to the face, a voice of reason in due season, a transcendent guide and opinion. Someone who shakes and stirs, someone who presses on nerves. The perfect poet doesn't even know it. They share with care so stoic, tossing seeds, not knowing where they'll land, yet fully aware of your attention span. They scan the eyes to find the receptive, souls that need nourishment, yet they feed the collective. Introspective from the intro to the end collected. The perfect poet is highly respected. Are there any perfect poets? I say yes. What makes them perfect is that they are imperfect. That is their niche. Their flaws are the pedestals in which they stand on, the soapbox, their platform in which they speak their truth. The quiver in one's voice before they break down in tears, which makes them so uncouth. The emotion that resurfaces every time a specific line is uttered. The ability to make small hairs on your arm stand up even when they have stuttered because they have suffered. The perfect poet mispronounces words on purpose so that their rhymes and rhythms can be maintained. How did the perfect poet get inside my brain the way it feels like they're reading my mind and walking in my shoes, giving subtle hints and clues that they share my same views, and now it's up to you to choose what moves you. And thank you for listening to The Perfect Poet.
All right, peace and blessings, everybody. My name is Simba. It's beautiful to be back here. I have a nonprofit called Exodus United, and about 3 years ago, we actually put on a play right here on this stage, so it was super powerful. This poem that I'm about to do is an oldie but goodie. For those of you who don't know me, it's a true story about a homeless youth that was being human trafficked in Orlando, and this is how it goes. To the young queen who sells her body on OBT, your legs do not have to be lampposts to be the brightest lights on the trail. Your thighs do not have to trick a truck stop to put food in your mouth. Don't you remember when God made manna fall like rain, and yet you say the exchange is the only way? As if when with another man you could taste the wheat dissolve on your tongue. Need I remind you, birds have mouths and do not have the capacity to communicate with their creator, yet their mouth still he feeds, and you keep thinking it needs. See, you have way too much value to let a man's hands crack your porcelain. Do not let the pressure stunt your growth, do not lower your luxury, because there is nothing royal in conducting that type of activity at the Royal Inn. And the roach that be all in those same bed sheets, he used the phone book to call me. He said, you've been pouring tears out your eyes so much that you filled the tub up to the dirt ring with it, but you lie to me. You lie to me. You tell me you don't mind, even if it has you lit up in a hospital bed, because that one time I have to be strong for you, but really, I want to take you and I want to shake you. I don't want to mix your rational up like a snow globe, because this isn't right, and I'm going to be the one to say so, but you say, Simba, chill. Really, it's all right. I don't mind, but young queen, I do, and no, I will not let it go. I'm not throwing dice with your life, mess around and let someone make a t-shirt out of you, like R.I.P. the homeless man, OBT. And when you count your dollars at night, I really want you to stop at 12, because believe that they're on to you. And at that point, you will no longer be able to pull the cement like a comforter over your head. A motel will no longer be able to serve as your place of refuge, you see, right? You see, the night that I became your Uber driver, it became way more than just poetry. Orlando community. We have a red light district trying to steal the innocence from underneath our youth. We have homeless teenagers trick-or-treating to make ends meet, but there is nothing sweet about letting another teen coerce you into one you see. Most High Power did not put me here to judge you. Listen to me when I speak. God put me here to love you. And God put me here to just tell you. When all of those men tell you, hey, baby girl, come on, you just gotta stand there, shawty, like you some sort of street light queen. The Most High Power told me to let you know. You look that person in the eyes and you say no. Because see, I and you and we, all of us in unity, we were made by the Most High God, whether you believe or not, to be with more respect. So tomorrow when he wakes you up and you stand 10 toes down and you look yourself in the mirror, I need you to tell yourself, no matter what your mother, your brother, your auntie, your ex, no matter who tells you what, you look yourself in the mirror and you say, I have so much more worth than that. And you walk like you know for the first time in your entire life. Like you walk like you know who you are. Thank you. Really quick, if you would like to follow me on Instagram, it's Simba93. I'm a teacher. I work at a Title I school. I have a nonprofit called Exodus United. We have a free studio program next month for 8 weeks at Asylum Studio. We're teaching kids about producing, engineering, recording, singing, and songwriting to improve self-esteem, mental health. If you know any kids 12 to 17, and we're also feeding them that you think would be interested in participating, or if you're interested in sponsoring or getting to know more about our program, please follow me. And again, also run an open mic, which you guys are all invited to. It's this Thursday. It's 18 and up, so it's not for kids. It's called Free Yourself Open Mic. But if you follow me, again, Simba93, I would love to support you. I would love to talk to you. And I'm so excited to have Quincy Q Major kill it today. And thank you guys so much. Mental health is important. Yeah.
This poem is called Naked, and it's self-explanatory. I never needed more clothes. I needed to be naked. See, I've been to some of the most fancy boutiques, searching the racks for the most unique clothes, hats, and accessories, just popping tags, throwing away receipts, but some of the prices were too steep, so to be cheap, I went to Goodwill where I could fill my cart, using these clothes as a form of art to show this world who I am. But since this place is a scam, they display this shallow dream built on a platform of green pieces of ink and trees as we hop on their treadmills of college jobs and more things that ain't adding to what's real. Economy screaming, gotta be quicker than that, but as I reach, I fall flat on my face, then go to Mac to get a palette of paint to cover up the dark eyes I get from the long nights and days I spend reaching for loose ends, knowing that no matter how fast we run, we'll never win. See, I've been addicted to likes and comments every now and then to scratch my itch. I post myself at events with some random people I call friends just to make my life seem like a big deal. But to be real, the more I post and look in the mirror, the lower I feel. Let's chill by this bottle of wine. Let's have a glass or 9 to drag ourselves into the mood of being who we really are. Let's hop into this 6-figure car, then go to this mansion that's colder than the glaciers at the North Poles to feed our souls with this fake thing we call home. Let's wear designer like the rappers. Let's smoke ourselves into a nap or go to the trap. The hospital. I may have said it right, but I'm afraid that if I don't lie, I might lose my 9 to 5 or my part-time. But see, I have a hard time believing in a system that kills more dreams than genocide.
Come on.
It shouldn't be this hard to be a human being.
Let's go.
I shouldn't need a Rolls Royce and money bags to feel like a queen. I refuse to fake it till I make it. I never needed more clothes. I needed to be naked.
This project was made possible by our season sponsors, Orange County, United Arts, the State of Florida, ACS, and Orlando Health. Our wonderful board members. We thank our donors and members, as well as our business sponsors. Please thank them for their support for Timucua.